Hello students, welcome to another lecture of bioinformatics. In this lecture we will be discussing about PAM matrices. So let's start. So PAM matrix is basically a scoring matrix. So what are scoring matrix? It gives basically a degree of biological relationship between amino acids or nucleotides. It also gives the probability that two amino acids occurs in homologous position in sequence that shares a common ancestor. Basically, these matrices gives an evolutionary relationship. We all know that BLAST tool. In my previous video, I have already shown you that BLAST is using PAM matrices or BLOSUM matrices. We can select the option from there. So PAM matrix is basically for deriving evolutionary relationship. Based on that, BLAST tool will give you the result of similar sequences, the sequence which you have submitted. Okay, so let's move forward. So here are two sequences, like sequence 1 and sequence 2. This one is sequence 1 and this one is sequence 2. So if we apply a matching and mismatching a score of 1 and mismatch 0, then we can get two alignments. One is this alignment, another one is this alignment. So from this alignment 1, we can get a score of 5, and from alignment 2 we can get a score of 6. So how do we decide which one is the best alignment? The best alignment is the one that best represents the matches among different characters. Let's consider a situation here. Different amino acid partially matches in chemical properties. Okay, different amino acid partially matches in chemical properties for which the scoring scheme of 1 for a match and 0 for a mismatch is not enough. Why? Because consider an example of methionine and leucine, where methionine has been substituted by leucine in a protein structure. So because methionine and leucine substitution does not alter the hydrophobic interaction, but methionine to arginine alters the hydrophobic interaction. Why? Because arginine is charged. Hence, during the course of evolution, methionine to leucine is more likely to occur. What does it mean? It means because two amino acids are of different nature, or they are different categories, like some are charged and some are uncharged. So basically, if a charged amino acid is being replaced with a charged amino acid during the course of evolution, then the probability of this happening is more, rather than a charged amino acid is being replaced by an uncharged amino acid. So that is why the scoring matrices are developed. So let's move forward further. So this is how the amino acid substitution matrix look. On the x-axis or on the y-axis, we have different amino acids. We have 20 amino acids, so we have put them in this fashion in the y-axis and the x-axis, and we have generated a score based on that, based on the PAM matrix, which I be explaining how we will be generating these scores. So this is how the final PAM matrices looks like. So there are basically two types of amino acid substitution matrices. One is PAM, another one is BLOSUM. There are different categories of PAM and then there are different categories of BLOSUM. So PAM is percent accepted mutation and BLOSUM is block amino acid substitution matrices. So these are the few points about amino acid substitution matrices. Like each matrix position is filled with a score. Score reflects how often one amino acid would have been paired with the other in an alignment of related protein sequences. Probability of A changing to B is equal to probability of B changing to A, where A and B are two amino acids. Likelihood of replacement depends on, likelihood means likelihood of two amino acids in a protein sequence of their replacement depends upon the product of the frequency of the occurrence of two and their chemical and physical properties. Like on the previous slide I've told, the charged amino acid will be, there is more probability of a charged amino acid to be changed with or to be replaced by a charged amino acid than the uncharged amino acid. So there are few assumptions before beginning to create a PAM matrix. So let's go into them. Each change in the current amino acid at a particular site is assumed to be independent of previous mutational event at that site. It means like whatever the change is happening, like suppose this is a protein sequence, and if at this particular position there is an amino acid and it is being changed into some other amino acid, then it is completely independent of the previous mutational event which has happened at this site. Second one is amino acid substitutions are used as Markov model. Third one is a series of changes of a state in a system such that a change from one state to another does not depend on the previous history of the state. It basically means the same thing. If this is a protein sequence, and here if suppose at this point or this amino acid is to be changed during the course of evolution, then it is independent of the previous changes which has happened over this site. Okay. Next one is amino acid substitution observed over a short period of evolutionary history can be extrapolated to longer distances. Like basically if you have, what does this mean? It means if you have developed a PAM matrix, or if you have drawn a conclusion that for a short period of time that this amino acid is being changed to this amino acid, then the same concept is been extrapolated for the longer distances results. Now what is PAM1? PAM1 is basically a PAM unit is a time period over which 1% of amino acid in a sequence are expected to undergo accepted mutations, some of which may occur in the same position. Okay, let's move further. So this is basically from where we start the PAM matrix, creation of a PAM matrix. So first step is, like suppose you have these 7 sequences. This is sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So first step for creating a PAM matrix is to construct a multiple sequence alignment. So here we have generated a multiple sequence alignment. But multiple sequence alignment basically means you have to align them such that you can see the mutational differences from one sequence to the other sequence. Now second one is creating a phylogenetic tree from the alignment. Here we have created a phylogenetic tree. This tree is very simple because only a single mutation is happening at a single time. Like from this is consider this is the parent. Consider this is the starting sequence. So on every mutation or single mutation is happening for a new sequence. From A to G there is only one mutation is happening. Okay. From this sequence second, only one mutation is happening. From I to L, from this sequence only in this case there are two mutations, like this is G and this is from again A to G. In this case again we are having two mutation. In this case we are also having two mutation. In this case we are also having two mutations. So basically to create a phylogenetic tree from these sequences is pretty simple, because if we take this as the parent sequence. So first sequence we are getting A to G, so we have created A to G and we've got this sequence, and in this sequence we are getting two mutations. One is A to G and another one is A to L. So A to G mutation will give this sequence, A to L mutation will give this sequence. Same wise on this side also, I to L mutation will give this, and from this sequence C to S mutation will give this, and G to A mutation will give this. So we have created a phylogenetic tree. Now let's move further. Now third step is to calculate the probability of occurrence of amino acid A, for which let's suppose we are considering amino acid in this sequence A or alanine. So we will have to calculate the probability of occurrence of amino acid alanine, and we will call it as PA. Now second step is consider FAB is the number of times amino acid A and B appear in the same column of matrix. Considering A and B to A substitution is equally probable. So basically in step 4 we have to calculate FAB, which is the frequency of substitution between amino acid A and B, and we have already considered that this substitution of A to B and B to A is equally probable. Now next step is to calculate how many times amino acid or alanine or A is substituted by any other amino acid. That is, if A is not equal to B, the sum of FAB is the number of times amino acid A substitute. So we have to calculate FA. FA is basically we are calculating FA in the case when A is not equal to B. Okay, so FA will be calculated based on this formula, sigma FAB, where A and B are two different amino acids and A and B are not equal. So for in this example, we have calculated FA as FAG and FGA. We have calculated this, these are the same, and we have calculated these are 3. How we have calculated? We have to go to the phylogenetic tree. A to G mutation is happening how many times? A to G 1, this is 1, this is another one 2, and this one is G to A is 3. So since we have considering A to G mutation and G to A mutation are same, so FAG and FGA are equal to 3. Now moving further, next step is to calculate the number of mutation occurring in the alignment, and we will call this as the sum of FA. So in the previous step we have calculated FA, which is the sum of FAB. In this step we are calculating F, which is the sum of FA. Now in the step 7 we have to calculate relative mutability of A when A is equal to B. So the relative mutability is given by this formula, MA is equal to FA divided by 100 into F into PA. So what is relative mutability? Relative mutability is the probability that a given amino acid will change in the evolutionary period of interest. Okay, so we have defined the main formula for PAM matrix. Now the number of mutations in which alanine is substituted, we are considering alanine in this example. Number of mutations in which alanine is substituted is 4. How? This one is 1, alanine is substituted, this one is another one, alanine is substituted, this one is another, alanine is substituted, and here is A to L. This is also a mutation of alanine. So the 4 places are there where alanine is substituted. Now we have to calculate the total number of mutation. Total number of mutation we can calculate is 6 into 2 is equal to 12. Now the relative frequency we have to calculate for alanine. Relative frequency is 10 upon 63. How do we get this 10 upon 63? The formula is number of times alanine is present divided by total residue. So the number of alanine we have calculated this sequence from these from this picture. So alanine is present 10 times, and the total residues are 63, because these are 9, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and these are 7 sequences, so 7 into 9 63, and alanine is present at 10 places. So the relative frequency of alanine will be calculated as 0.159. Now we have to calculate relative mutability of alanine. Relative mutability of alanine will be calculating by this formula. Now we have FA, we have PA, and we also have F. F is total number of mutation. So from this formula we can calculate FA is 400 and F is 12 and PA is 0.159. So relative mutability of alanine is 0.0209. So we have finished calculating relative mutability. Now next step is the probability of A remaining unchanged, which will be denoted as MAA is equal to 1 minus MA. Another next step is when F is not equal to B, the probability of A substituted by B is given by MAB is equal to FAB into MA upon FA. So now let's get these are the formulas. Now let's calculate in real terms. The mutation probability of each pair of amino acid will be calculated as follows. Relative mutability we have already calculated on the previous slide is for alanine is 0.0209. Frequency of alanine mutating to glycine is 3. We have already calculated in the previous slides. Now frequency of all amino acid pair in which alanine is substituted is 4. The mutation probability of alanine to glycine is MAG, basically this one we are calculating here, this formula MAB. So MAG is 0.029 into 3 upon 4 is equal to 0.0156. So MAB we have calculated now. The final scores in a PAM matrix are expressed as logarithm of Oates score or LOD values. So these are the, so how do we, once we have got this value, now these will be converted into logarithm values. Okay. Now the next step is compare probability of mutation versus probability of random occurrence. How do we do this? By the odds ratio MAB upon PB. Now the scoring matrix S is calculated by SAB is equal to 10 log 10 MAB divided by PB. So this is basically the formula of converting all these values which I have calculated previously to the final value which will be used, which we will be putting in a PAM matrix. So these equations allow us to calculate a PAM1 matrix. PAM1 matrix I have already told you. PAM1 is basically the time period in which the 1% of the amino acids of the sequence goes through the evolutionary changes. Now the number after PAM is the number of amino acid substitution per 100 residues. Like for PAM40 is the 40 substitution per 100 residues, or in other terms 40% of the residues has been changed. For PAM250 is also the same thing, 250 substitution per 100 residues. All matrices are calculated by multiplication of PAM1 matrices. So basically if someone have to calculate PAM40 or PAM1000 matrix, so they won't be calculating PAM1000 matrix directly. They will be calculating only PAM1, and then they will be multiplying it 1000 times to calculate PAM1000 matrix. Let me show you one more thing, how the final matrix looks like. So this is basically how the final matrix looks like. This is a PAM evolutionary distance. On this axis we have put on original amino acids. On this axis we have put replacement amino acids. So these are basically the values, logarithm values, which we have calculated on the previous slides for the mutational events, or for giving the value that alanine is being replaced by arginine. So there is one value, alanine is being replaced by arginine, this is the 4 value. So this is the PAM matrix, how it looks like in the final form. That's it for today. I'll be bringing in the next slide, or in the next video I'll be giving the description of a Blossom matrix. Okay, thank you, goodbye.